electric rig, it's really, really, really simple. I have 2 lines running. That gets routed into Voodoo Labs switcher, which then routes for the electric rig, which is amp 1 here, just through an overdrive, into a delay, back out in the loom to the system. It's as simple as that.
And in the system,
that's it. It's 1 Mesa Boogie head and 2 2x12 cabinets loaded with EVs.
That's
as simple as you can get.
Gee.
Yeah. And we don't even channel switch the heads. Just 1 channel, clean, and that's it. And it's turned up really loud.
And the distortion sound, you get it out of the
distortion is all out of either the box, and the guitars. Excuse me. The guitars are so hot that they overdrive a bit if you crank them up all the way.
Yeah.
So because it's hitting the front end of the amp so hard. So it's an 18-volt preamp in there, so it's loud.
It's loud, yeah. So it overdrives the preamp already.
It's different. I mean, he controls the dynamics and the guitar by his fingers and the volume. You know, there's no volume pedal, no channel switching on the amp. It's all really organic.
So definitely an old school player.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like, you know, the old Marshall style. You just everything touch control.
Yeah, it's definitely old school. And for the acoustic line.
Oh, sorry, mate. I'm looking at this wall amps here.
For the acoustic line, it's the same thing. I use the same cables, except I route it through the acoustic amp section of the switcher, which goes into a delay pedal, back out to 2 SWR California Blondes. And most of the acoustic stuff is just Taylors with Fishman preamp systems in. Taylor 814s.
With the setup of the rig, did you get any input in that, or was it Lindsey came up like, this is what I use, this is what you got to use to go into it?
It was really a combination of his old tech, Ray Lindsey, and Lindsey together, this evolving after many years. And I'm not really sure. I wasn't around during the selection of what they were going to use. But this is what it evolved to, and he's definitely a creature of habit. So change is a very bad thing. Change is a bad word. So we don't, you know, I want to keep what he uses. This is what he's comfortable with. So as long as it's been very reliable so far. That's huge. Reliability is huge.
Yeah, of course.
So,
you know, you got a big show to run every night.
Right.
You don't want anything to go wrong.
No.
So is there anything that went wrong where you go like, oh, shit?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
You want to tell us that, or is it too embarrassing? You go like,
no, I've had, on this particular tour, I've had very, very few problems. Now we're getting to the end of the tour, so I guess things that had the potential to go wrong are now starting to. I had a switcher go down a couple of nights ago, which gave me 1 cable for about 4 songs. But I have redundant systems everywhere. So I was able to just grab the backup unit, plug it up, and go. You know, so everything up here you see has a duplicate. So if I have problems, you know, mess around, just switch it out.
Switch it out straight
Figure
away.
out what time is the best to get in there and switch it and make it happen.
So nothing has happened that, you know, like...
No, we never had any, no
Everything stopped and nothing happened. Yeah.
No down showtime. You know, I had a delay go out, which is unusual. Same delay I've been using for 4 years. Went out a few nights ago, and I've always got a spare standing by. I just ran up here and switched it out, and you know, no downtime, no nothing. So it's been a good tour. Haven't had problems.
You happy to go back home?
Yes.
Christmas.
Yes. Haven't been home much this year at all.
Yeah, I can understand that. Because being on the road, it must be a lonely life as well.
Yeah, it can be.
Because every day you're in a new city, new people.
It's funny when I go home, you wake up and you're like, where am I? You get this panic feeling, oh my God, I'm late for lobby call, because you're not waking up to an alarm. Yeah. So it's quite a dual existence. It's you know, you go from being around 15,000, 20,000 people a night to being home in the quiet, and it's quite an adjustment. This is the complicated part. I could go through we use, for 1 song, which is Big Love, which Lindsey does solo, no band, we use a pretty unique system. It's a Chet Atkins nylon guitar, but it's been totally redone by Rick Turner. It's got a very unique preamp system in it. Each string has its own pickup, Each string has its own volume and pan control. So we use and also it controls a synth. So we layer the sound just barely underneath of it with a little bit of a synth to fatten it up a little bit. It's got a 13-pin connector on it, which is hardwired to this old Trace Elliott acoustic amp. And it's really loud, really clean, really bright and thick and fat sounding. And that's the most complicated electronically part of my gig.
To make
That's
sure
the only
you get
thing
the
up here.
balance right.
Yeah,
with
that's the only
synth
thing
and-
up here that really isn't simple. There's quite a bit going on there.
Because the synth is there in the bottom
Right.
rack.
Yeah. We have the two old Roland synths in the bottom and a very old Trace Elliott acoustic rig there.
That still shows that
But
the
you know
old
what?
school-
It doesn't sound like anything else. It's got a what is it? 8-inch speakers per cab, which is it doesn't sound like anything else. It's really unique. That's the whole rig. I mean, there's the only thing that's kind of
Out of
generic
its way.
or vanilla, so to speak, is the acoustic end of it. There's 3 acoustic songs at night, and that's just normal setup. But the Rick Turner stuff definitely doesn't sound like anything else. And Lindsey doesn't sound like anybody else.
No,
so
no, he's got his own style.
Yeah,
And
it's a different thing. It's instantly recognizable. It's very, you can't get away with anything with his system. It's very crystal clear. You can hear every little articulation that you play. It's difficult to play these guitars because you can't get away with it. You can't get away with anything. You hear everything that you do, and it's very loud.
Which is
Very
good.
loud. Yeah.
And now it shows the craftsmanship in the playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So with the guitar, can you show us the guitar?
Sure.
Yeah.
What that one? It's done with the band with Fleetwood, but on the solo run, it was done solo. And what we did was we layered it with a synth that was an octave higher than the guitar. So we blended a note that was an octave higher to everything that he was doing, just underneath it, and thicken it. It was a really cool sound.
It was, yeah, very cool. Yeah, I really liked it. Yeah.
And that's done with this. Let's see, this is just the backup, but this is the one that's used for.
That's the beast.
Yeah, it's used for Big Love. Here's the volume for each string, pan for each string, 13-pin connector. And originally started life as a Gibson Chet Atkins, and it's been
modified.
gutted and and redone.
So is it like each piezo settles, or
Yes.
is it Zealand then?
Yeah.
And maybe we see you back here with the Billy Idol tour then.
That would be great. Don't know if that's going to happen for me, but depending on what goes on next year, we'll see.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for your
Hey,
time.
Thank you.
And have a
Enjoyed
good show
it.
tonight.
Thank you.